Hey, what's going on, guys? We're going to cover a little bit about the Gunlancer. As you can see right now, that my Gunlancer is tier 2, item level 963, 47,000 health, 108 specialization. Now we do need to raise that up. Here's why. For the Gunlancer, what you want mainly is specialization and crit. Specialization and crit allow you to deal a lot more damage. Specialization, this is your shield meter recovery, your awakening skill. That basically boosts up your shield. Reason why you want to boost up your shield is because obviously you're tanky. Your crit, you want to hit harder, so you're basically going to be defensive, but you're going to be offensive at the same time, if that makes sense. Alright, so on the weapon, we're running tier 2 epic. Basically have a chance of dropping lightning, whatever. That's not a big deal. Let's go over engravings. So engravings on the Gunlancer, you don't want any of these to be up. So basically we need to lower these more. This is bad for me. Attack speed reduction, attack power reduction. But I want to talk about the positive effects. Okay, so combat readiness right here. It says normal skills damage plus 20%. Shield amount plus 30% in defensive stance. Damage plus 4% for 10 seconds when hit while in defensive stance. So basically you get a damage boost whenever you get hit while you have your shield up. That's your defensive stance. It stacks up to 3 times. So you get 4% times 3. You get 12% increase in damage, which is a lot, especially when you're in defensive mode. Barricade is really good on him for me. It says damage to foes while shielded. So obviously when you're shielded, you deal a lot more damage. Not a lot more damage, but you deal 3% more damage, which is pretty good. Grudge, you got damage plus 4% to boss or above monsters, which is really good. You take incoming damage 20%. You're not really going to feel that because obviously you have boosted shields. So when you're in shield mode, basically you're going to deal a lot more damage, and that's going to cause you to be more defensive/offensive powerhouse. It's going to be hard for them to kill you. Very hard for them to kill you. Right now we're doing tier 2 content, but at the same time, that's more of my build that I want to go over a little bit. So when you're fighting in battles, your main goal. Also, I have gems equipped that deal more damage whenever I use them, but this is my build right here. I use Shout of Hatred. Shout of Hatred does AoE damage when anybody's near you. Basically, it taunts them and it deals damage. If you guys want to read it right there. Let out a fierce roar, inflicts 30,015 damage to foes with an 8-meter radius, taunting non-player foes for 5 seconds and disabling certain skills on them. Obviously, this is a PvE ability. It disables certain skills on them. Challenge or higher foes cannot be taunted, again, for a set period of time. So you can only taunt, a couple times. Before it just doesn't work, Ready defense. So you got incoming damage minus 20% for 6 seconds. So basically, it's gonna raise your defense. Creates a shield for 30% of your max HP. So basically, like I said, it adds on to your engravings that you deal more damage when you're shielded, right? So when you have that shield up, you deal more damage. And then we're going to go into Bash. Bash is perform a shield attack that inflicts 16,932 damage and stuns foes for 3 seconds. The big key thing on a Gunlancer is your stagger. You want to have a lot of stagger for bosses. Stagger basically disables them for a short period of time. That little bar that's under their health, it's like a purple bar or pink bar, whatever color. I'm colorblind, so don't go off of me. That colored bar underneath their health is their stagger bar. And these basically deal damage to their stagger, causing them to basically get stunned for a short period of time and allow your entire team to destroy the boss. Now, it's really good in abyssal dungeons. You really want to use this in abyssal dungeons. This ability, this ability, this ability, as well as this one too. You can look at them. All of them have stagger. This one has super armor right here. We have paralysis immunity. This one has high stagger. So we'll go over the next ability in the line. So we got Surge Cannon. This is your damage ability, right? It also has really the highest stagger you out of all your skills. If you read the top underneath weak point, level 1, it says stagger, highest attack type, frontal attack. So most of your Gunlancer attacks are going to be frontal attacks, which means you deal more damage from the front, which is good because you're going to be taunting and stuff. So the way I upgraded this, I went with high explosive shot and overcharge, because overcharge you don't have a key area you need to drop it in order for it to not fail. So you can basically just charge it up twice and it does more damage. At the bottom on overcharge, you can see it says changes to charge mode. Charge level 1 creates the perfect zone effect. Overcharge damage plus 60%. So when you overcharge it, you deal more damage. High explosive shot. It immediately fires one more cannonball that travels 2 meters forward and causes a circular explosion. This additional cannonball creates a weak effect. Level 1 inflicts plus 50% damage to challenger or higher levels. So, like I said, it's more for bosses. Basically, inflicts 62 damage and push foes away, then fully compressed, inflict 110,000 damage and knock foes back. The effects I have on this, the skill rune, damage received minus 8% when casting, so you take less damage when you're casting it, when you're charging it up. Your gem effect, you got surge cannon cooldown minus 2%, so that's pretty good. Leap attack. This is going to be kind of your movement skill. You're going to leap 9 meters toward the target location to strike on the ground. Now you can leap twice with this because I have the fully upgraded version. You have paralysis immunity, like I said, paralysis immunity, super armor. You have direct hit. Direct hit when landing is 15%, plus 15% damage. You create a lightning field every time you jump. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll show you. So like when you jump, that's the thing at the very bottom. It says low shock. Changes to combat mode. Uses the skill again to jump one more time and inflict 50% damage while with a downward strike. And then we'll move on to the next one, shield shock. So shield shock is another stagger move. It's a mid-high stagger, but it's a good AoE whenever there's like a couple enemies just surrounding you. So when you use it, you're going to deal 20,195 damage. Their move speed gets decreased by 40% for 4 seconds. On hit, their defense drops 12%. On hit, all incoming damage 15% for 10 seconds. So basically, if you hit them, they're going to take 15% more damage. If you guys want to see what that looks like, smash the ground with your shield. It's like an AoE around this area right here. Your shield bash. I use shield bash because shield bash is another high stagger attack, so you're going to hit them twice. If you hit them with both of them, it does even more stagger damage. So frontal attack as always. Most of his abilities are going to be frontal attacks. Perform a fierce shield swing to inflict 5,489 damage, which isn't a lot, but use a skill again to inflict 12,000 damage following swing. Now, this is mostly just for stagger, not really damage. You're basically just going to use this to, if you're in a stagger check, you'll see when you get into like abyssal dungeons, you'll have stagger checks, or because if you don't stagger them fast enough, you'll end up wiping. Armor destruction on hit, foe defense minus 12% for 8 seconds. It's good for your whole team. Shield enhancement on hit, shield meter gain 50%. So that's crazy right there. That right there is crazy. 50% meter gain on hit. So if you hit them, it gains your shield meter, which is right here. You guys can see that. That's basically your shield meter. And then additional hits. So you got 2 hits on there. The first hit's plus 20%. On the second hit, it's plus 60%. So it's going to deal more damage. And if you look at the bottom, the skill rune effect, that's really important on this skill right here. Skill rune effect, overwhelm. On skill hit, stagger damage plus 10%. So that's going to deal even more stagger damage. You got Nalasia's energy. I really like this. This is a buff for your entire party. So this is let out a roar, damage to all party members in 24 meter radius minus 19%. That's almost 20% less damage they're going to take. It's also going to move your move speed plus 15% for 6 seconds. It decreases lingering power as Nalasia's energy decreases all damage for 4 seconds. So it's going to decrease damage even more using that ability. That right there. You can see the little aura around him, and you can see right here. Nalasia's energy, minus 19% for a couple seconds. This is going to be your main damage skill. This will literally nuke anybody around you. It's called Guardian's Thunderbolt. See how it took off half that guy's life right there? These are tier 2 area too. So it's going to call forth a lightning strike from the sky to deal basically 60,000 damage to foes in a 5-meter radius, electrocuting them for 3 seconds. Electrocution basically stuns them in place. It doesn't let them move for a minute. It does work on some bosses. Not all of them, but some of them. Damage luck drops +1. One-off Thunderbolt, inflicting 47,000 damage to the foe. So basically, after you use it, if there's a foe in the area, sometimes it has a chance to strike it. It'll deal extra damage. Tough Strike, outgoing damage +25%. On Thunderbolt hit, shoot lightning streaks crosswise, inflicting +50% damage. So like I said, this is going to be your big damage skill. Your cooldown is going to be -2%, and your damage is going to be +3% with these gem effects that I have on here. Now this is also a stagger move. It's not near as good as these ones right here, but it also does a lot of stagger. Now, this one is the very first ability, which is Shout of Hatred, which I was talking about, gives you the shield. It will literally, if you hit somebody, it'll give you a shield. It won't raise your shield meter, but it will give you an actual shield. Then we're going to move on to Bash. Bash shoots out 3 at a time, if you guys seen that. It basically stuns them. I think it stuns them, does it? Yeah, it stuns for 3 seconds. Alright, so we're going to move on to Surge Cannon. Surge Cannon is right here. Excuse me. And it shoots out. And then you have Leap Attack. I've already showed you guys, and I've showed you these other ones too. Alright, so now we're going to move on to his Awakening. This is the Awakening I like to use because I'm defensive / damage build. So this is going to be your main superpower whenever you need everything else to... When everything's exhausted and you absolutely need the damage, this is a good skill to use. You want to make sure you have Chaos Runes on this, because if you don't have Chaos Runes, you can't use your Awakening ability. Now, obviously, it says up there, Awakening Chaos Shard 1 consumed. You can buy those from any general merchant around the area. Literally, they're not hard to find at all. Not very expensive. I bought 1,000 the other day, just so I don't run out of them. Using the skill, recover 100% shield meter and release a 10-meter radius protection aura in the nearby area for 10 seconds. Foes within the aura take 543,000 damage and become stunned for 4 seconds. This is really, really crucial to use in boss fights. Literally, all your people in the area take a lot less damage. With the aura, all party members take 40% less damage and become immune to pushes and debuffs. It's really, 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 really important that you guys know what that does. You can't just drop it and expect, people to just stay in it when they don't know exactly what it does. It does 40% less damage and they become immune to pushes and debuffs. The stagger is high, so it's another stagger ability. This is a high stagger build, but it's also a high damage build. Usually, if you're in the same tier people are in there with you, you'll usually end up either second or first in the MVP. Push immunity, debuffs. Now, with this build, you're not going to be very mobile, so you've got to learn how to move. Movement abilities. So if you're in your shield, you move extremely slow, as you guys can tell. If you need to get close to somebody, you can or you can shield bash. That's another movement ability. The other movement ability is this one. Not that one. I'm sorry. It's just these 2 abilities. You got shield bash and leap attack. Those are going to be your 2 abilities. And you can also face opposite direction, jump, because with the Gunlancer, your spacebar ability is a jump bash. It's not a forward jump. That is going to take a lot of getting used to, especially when you first started playing Gunlancer. So my rotation, most of the time when I go into a fight, the first thing I do is I will use my lightning bolt for damage. Immediately I will go on because it gives me a shield. And in that moment, hopefully I've built up enough meter. If I haven't built enough meter, I'll still do stagger abilities. I use all my stagger abilities until that's over. And then I'll overcharge. And then at the end, I'll use my and then I just So that's the whole rotation right there that I use. As you can see, they're all on cooldown, so in the meantime you can just basically do that. You don't want to have, you kind of want to space these out so you're not constantly like grabbing for air. So basically, if you want to spread them out, my main goal would be to jump in, spam these, use these, charge this up, back a couple times, on, back to the shield bash, back to that one, there you go. You can mix it up, to see if you exhaust them, you're going to be sitting here swinging like this the whole time. Not saying that that's a bad idea, but at the same time, you want to kind of space out your abilities to maximize their potential. And if all else fails, also obviously you can drop B, which is your awakening. So you drop that, you take 40% less damage. You can immediately, you have full shield meter. Now, if you press Z, you're going to have a shield, a combat shield around you. You're going to be immune to debuffs, anything really. Pushbacks, there's not even bosses can push you back with this on. It's very, very important that you learn how to use that, turn it on and turn it off when necessary. If you keep it on the whole time, it's going to drain your meter. You see how it drains slowly. Every time you take damage, obviously it's going to drain it. But when the boss is far away and you can't just reach them, you want to turn it off, run to them, pop it back on before they pop an ultimate ability. Now, there are some clutch situations when a boss is charging up an attack. You can use your taunt. Your taunt will take them out of their charge up attack sometimes. It's very, very crucial that you get used to using that. Also, whenever they have stagger checks, they'll sit up there and charge in the middle. First thing you want to do in a stagger check, in my opinion, this is what I do. I usually use S, that's your highest stagger ability. Then you're going to go A, W, jump on them, and that's another stagger ability. So all those are stagger abilities. More than likely, you will always get the stagger check off, and you guys should be good to go. If it doesn't, you can just it works just like you want it. I believe this has some stagger on it. Mid-high stagger. You can use this one too. But all these abilities are stagger abilities. So every single one of them, except for D, will be a stagger ability, which will cause you to deal more damage. I appreciate you guys watching this guide. This is just one build you can make out of many. If you guys want to look at the points that I have put in, I don't have all the points yet. Like I said, he's 963. We'll look at the abilities, combat skills. Like I said, none of these are all your damage abilities. You don't want all those. 7 in this one, which is Surge Cannon. I have 10 in combat shield bash, leap attack, Guardian's Thunderbolt. Those are important to have 10 in all of those because you're going to need all of those for stagger. I have 7 on each of these. Eventually I'll raise one of these up to 10. I do have Lance of Judgment. Lance of Judgment's more for your damage builds. As you can see, it deals 952,000 damage. You can swap that out if you want to be more offensive. Raises your crit rate plus 10%. But yeah, so these 3 right here, eventually I'll have Shadow of Hatred probably at 10 and Shield Shock at 10. Nalasia's Energy, you really don't need. You can. Raises outgoing damage. You could just kind of mix and match with these ones, whatever one you want to raise to 10. Me personally, I like this one right here. I don't really like this one. A lot of people use it a lot. You basically run around in a circle, or not a circle, but you can like run with it. It's basically a run. I don't like it because it's kind of hard to aim. You're just moving too fast. The chain attack more used for PvP, so I don't use that. Hook chain. It basically pulls enemies to you. I guess if you're trying to like group AoEs or something, it's good to use. The Awakening, this is the best one I like to use right here. It's so beneficial for your team when you're using it. You guys can see a couple of runes I have over here. But this is my build on my Gunlancer. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer them. Just comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right. Appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out the video.